This is my dog's Tom, and her nose can smell if I have cancer.
She's also got incredible hearing and amazing taste in food.
As much as I like to believe she's special, she's actually pretty average for a dog. But that's not the reason I care about her. She's a huge part of my life, and I love her a lot. But the question begs, does she love me back?
One thing that almost all dogs have in common is their cuteness. I mean, just look at those eyes. But that's just it. Look at those eyes. Don't they just have a human quality?
Well, we'll get to that. But first, we need to understand where dogs came from.
You might have heard that dogs evolved from wolves, but wolves look nothing like dogs. You must have also heard that we domesticated them. But how in the world did we manage to convince these canine carnivores to follow us around like loyal sidekicks? The theory goes that wolves realized that hanging out near human camps meant that they had access to much more food, because they could just scavenge the humans' leftovers. And then the wolves realized that actually spending time with the humans meant that they had access to even more food. And the humans realized that in exchange for this food, they could train the wolves to do a bunch of different things. Thus, the slow domestication of wolves began. And it wasn't even that hard. Studies have shown that wolves understand humans really well. They can respond to our actions and interpret our emotions with remarkable accuracy. So, for ancient humans, domesticating them was a piece of cake.
It's really interesting how we managed to convince nature's greatest endurance hunters to play fetch with us. But there's still a peculiar problem we gotta talk about.
How on earth did we manage to turn this into this? Okay, let's say I have two wolves. And I'm a hunter who lives in the Arctic and is looking for a sidekick. Now, as an experienced hunter, I would choose the wolf that blends in better with the Arctic ice. But I still have to choose between the friendly wolf and the unfriendly wolf. And obviously I'd choose the wolf that's more tame and obedient. And let's see, friendly, loyal, loves the cold. I'm literally describing a husky.
And how do we know this theory is correct? Well, over the years there have been quite a few experiments to verify it.
A scientist named Dmitry Belyaev conducted a 50-year experiment with silver foxes, where he selected only the most tame foxes for breeding. And within just 4 generations, he had the most dog-like foxes you've ever seen.
They had droopy ears and even wagged their tails to convince humans to give them food.
Belyev's experiment proved that you could take a wolf and then through selective breeding turn it into something close to a wolf, like a husky or a German shepherd. Or you can select further and end up with something like a border collie. Close to a wolf, but not really. Then you could select further and you'd end up with a golden retriever. Or you could go all out and turn your wolf into a chihuahua.
There's a phrase here that fits. Necessity is the mother of invention. Over hundreds of years, this specific tailoring for the exact traits that people wanted to see in their dogs is how we ended up with the hundreds of dog breeds that exist today. So now we know that evolution knows how to make canines that are perfectly suited to be man's best friend. But we still have to answer the question, does your dog love you?
Well, we all know that wolves are pack animals. And dogs have those same social behaviors, so they too want to be part of a pack. You can see this yourself if you have a dog. They tend to divide our families the same way that wolves divide their families into packs, picking one person to listen to more, but another person to gravitate towards. Humans have a tendency to look for faces in almost everything, which is why you see a smile. This is why we find our dogs so cute. They look like us, or at least we've made them look like us. Because like I said earlier, it's all in the eyes. Comparative anatomist Heather Smith proved using a few experiments with African wild dogs that this familiar expression, puppy dog eyes, actually evolved specifically so that dogs could communicate with humans. We know this because the wild dog's eyebrow dexterity was not even close to that of domesticated dogs. So despite how innocent you think your dog is, they've actually known how to manipulate us for like thousands of years. They know exactly how to tug at our heartstrings. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Because we love them so much, we treat them really well. And almost as if they're part of our families. And dogs reciprocate this feeling. They care about us the same way we care about them. And science has also proven that dogs feel a lot more than we realized. They experience jealousy, anger, joy, sadness, and even the thrill of finding a cat, almost the same way we do.
So your dog does love you, but if you own one, you already knew that.